Hello, hello, everyone. Hi. There we go. How is everybody? Hello, hello. Hey, Jeanette. Hey, John. Hey, Dawn. How many John? Dawn. Hey, Dawn. Welcome, welcome. Happy Monday, April 3rd. I think it's going to take some getting used to get out of March and into April. But that is where we are. Good evening to you. Hello, hello. I am going to also, just in case there's technical issues with Fireside, which sometimes there are, I'm going to get on YouTube here for this live to go over the Soul Quest program. So thank you all for being here. Hello, Georgia. Hello. And we'll give it a couple minutes also for others to join. So welcome. Let's see. Just in case there's technical, gotta mute that. Okay. So my cat is doing this licking thing that obsessively. Blackie stops. Okay. So we are, hello YouTube, hello. How is everybody today? I am so excited and I'm like a little like wow, I can't believe it's here because it felt like it's like time just zipped by. You know, when I really stopped to think about it, it's like, no, we had a full month. We had a full month. It was a very full month, but it seemed like it was just extremely fast as well. Hello, Vanessa. Hi there, love. How are you? Hello. Tell me how everybody is getting into April. And if you feel at all a shift energetically, we are in the third day of April. For those of us here in the live, and sorry, I have cats. Let me check in here with the chat if I can. Lots of hellos. Hellos. Hi's. Hearts. Check in with me on YouTube, everyone. Say hi in the chat. I am going to be checking in with the chat there. And at any time during this, please feel free to ask your questions about the Soul Quest program that officially starts today. Today is the official launch of the Soul Quest program. But first, I'm going to get into a little bit about me. Just a little bit. I figure if you're doing this program, most likely you know who I am. But for those of you that are just checking this out, you're curious about who I am, what the Soul Quest program is. I want to explain to you, introduce myself to you as the facilitator of this program. I am a generational shaman, spirit guide, healer, medical medium, messenger, written form, verbally, through channeled guided astral meditations and other channelings, creating in all sorts of different ways. I'm an artist. I love photography and video. Music, you name it, I'm into it when it comes to creativity, art, expression. I think to torture me would to make me pick one, to be honest with you. So I was created with all of that, deeply integrated with Archangel Gabriel, which is into all of that as well. Spiritual awakening, ascension, messaging, healing, nurturing, cultivating the divine inner child, helping to understand your power and on so many different levels, are all parts, the big parts of me that drive me to do what I do. But firstly, it was because I had a very serious situation my whole life that now and for a long time I've been extremely grateful for. I love my story, as hard as it was for a very long time. Because I didn't know what I was. Sorry, hold on. Hey, you need to stop that. No. Sorry, everyone. He just will not. You need to stop. These freaking cats. I swear to God. I'm sorry. Oh, man. So I was, no. Oh my God, this cat. I was very sick my whole life, and also extremely ignorant about myself and what my body was doing, what my energy was doing, what the world and people were doing to me that I was completely out of control about. I had no idea I was a psychic physical empath, no idea that I knew I was psychic from the time I was a very, very small child, because I definitely stood out and was different than my peers. And that was like, nobody really had to tell me. It was just obvious by life. And by the age of 5, I was giving people very clear, on point, direct psychic messages, divine channeling from their guardian angels and anybody that was connected to them. But it was never associated that I had my physical problems, which I had from the time I was an infant, and on up all the way, that had anything to do with my psychic abilities or anything to do with any of the experiences that I had that were metaphysical or energetic or spiritual on any level. Nobody made these connections, not even no doctors, not my parents, of course, no friends. No, it just never, ever came up. And maybe if my grandfather was around later in my life and he maybe would have made that connection, but I had already lived 9-10 years when he and I got back together when we went to Colombia, because that's where he lived. My mother's Colombian. And she explained a lot of very interesting things about me in different ways that I was, but he never had any insight on how I would feel physically and how that had anything to do with all the woo business. Hey, Tron. So anyhow, the way that my life went was I was always in some sort of distress, physically or energetically, most of the time, from the time I was a very, very small child. I was sensitive to like everything and anything. I didn't have any allergies, and I only got sick maybe once a year, but I didn't feel good. I had headaches, stomach aches, joint pain, muscle pain, fatigue, fogginess, sensitive to light, sensitive to noise, sensitive to being around a lot of people, just on and on and on my whole life. And things would come and go, and it was all over the place. When I was 25, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia because I fit all the criteria, had all the tender points. I was off the charts. My doctor's board certified rheumatologist that diagnosed me said I was like the most severe case. And at that point I was 25 years old, and she had women that were senior citizens, and I was even worse than that. So then it was just about like, oh, now we have something to call this. but it really didn't solve anything. I was then on medication to help me sleep or for muscle relaxants for pain if I really needed it. But it was just my state of being was feeling crappy one way or another, and days would be different with what was going on. It was hard to hold a job. It was hard to be a mother. It was impossible to do those things much of the time. So life was pretty sucky and shitty for most of my adult life, unfortunately. But that was what I had to experience. And I experienced that in so many different ways and different intensities throughout my life. And then I started to really spiritually awaken and be introduced and open up and start doing yoga and start meditation and then connecting with my guides and guardians and going through a process of awareness and remembrance that brought me to healing myself energetically, physically, and all of the things because of who I was, absorbing all this energy, being connected in so many ways, feeling everybody exactly in their body, or my body, the way people felt in their bodies, but like all mishmashed up. So, but it still took quite some time to really sort things through and understand and learn more things, and then finally understand. It took a few years for me to understand, oh, I'm supposed to, like, it can't, like, enough things happen for me, and then for me to be in situations to extend myself to help somebody else. And then once that ball got rolling, there was really, that was it. I understood that this was my purpose, and I just needed to fill in a lot of blanks, learn a lot more, figure out my own stuff. And then eventually I started helping people more and more and more. And so that brings us to now and the present day. And you can see the big fat smile on my face because all of that, and there's so much in there, but all of that, and with all the clients that I've worked with so far, and my abilities, on every level, have grown so exponentially in ways that I would never have thought was like anything real a while back. Like, especially when I was, chronically ill and in bed and on disability and, definitely rated a disabled person officially because I couldn't work. I couldn't do a lot of things. It was really, really bad. And to go from that to, helping other people eliminate chronic illness and then be able to work and then have a social life and feel really good all the time and be in control of themselves and the energy around them, and shape their lives towards their destinies and connect with guides and guardians and their own soul, and all that is my purpose for being. I had to go through my own journey and figure out a lot of things and feel a lot of ways and experience a lot of things so I could have a wide berth of experiences that I could truly relate to with other people. And that's just in this human lifetime. Then tapping into my past lives and then the knowledge base of the guides and guardians of us all and individually, and then the Akashic and soul stories, on and on and on. So it's, things really opened up for me that helps me be very uniquely qualified to help people in a really strategic way that focuses in on exactly what people need and need to know and how they need to go about doing things, because there's no question about it, because of the channel that I have, not only to the person themselves, their bodies, and everything else that they're connected to. And my own life, me understanding how impossibly critical it is for us to connect with ourselves, our bodies, our emotions, our fears, energy, nature, and most importantly, our soul. And most people are not fully connected with their souls. So, and even for myself, because of how I mentioned to you, I have so many pulls to things to do and to facilitate and to help in so many ways, and to be creative and to be of service and all the things, that even like for me, it can get like, okay, where are we going? What are we doing? And things kind of culminated at the end of 2022. I got a lot of downloads and channelings that came through about what the energies were that were happening. The 1331 portal in December was a big one, and there's a one or two at least, or maybe even three at this point, I can't remember, articles on Medium and my website as well about this, and channelings. You can read about it if you haven't, and probably be a good idea to go back and refresh if you can, as well, for those of you especially doing the Soul Quest program. And more and more it became clear that there is going to be a real paradigm shift, a real upending kind of things that were set, and ways that we thought things were going to go, and what we wanted to do or didn't want to do, and ways that we, just all of these things, because the energies were coming in to help us get on the highest possible timelines for 2023 and beyond, to connect more divinely, to really up the ante, if you will, on our spirituality, on our connection with self and soul and guides and guardians and the universe and Gaia and Mother, Father, God, and the divine feminine and masculine, all of those things. So starting in December, it just kept getting more and more and more was coming through. I took a hiatus in February to process everything. And in the middle of February, I got a big download that it was about what we needed to do before making any other plans was to make space at least a month, maybe more. This was at the very beginning when this first came through, of really getting down and dirty with ourselves in a way that I hadn't done for myself or facilitated for my clients. And it came through that it was going to be driven through our bodies and taken piece by piece when it comes to that, so we can have a greater understanding of ourselves, our experiences, and all the things that either push us or pull us, motivate us or scare us, and everything in between. And I had a major download, first in one sitting, and then over the course of a couple of days. And this became the Soul Quest program. This became the soul maps and it connected to our true identity, because once we awaken spiritually and start to connect with ourselves and our souls, we change. And everything about us changes in so many different ways that you start to lose track, or in the beginning it's surprising every single time, and you have to readjust with each new change across the board. And we really do become different people. We're the same, but we're different in a lot of ways, and that happens, again and again and again. And so another thing that came up that was so strong was our true identity, and making this new connection to ourselves with our new selves and our true identity, having been through our processes getting to the Soul Quest program and what that's doing for us. And then beyond that, our spirit names. We were given a name at birth, and whether that felt right or not, whether it suited us or not, whether it was comfortable or not. And sometimes we create nicknames, or people call us different things. But what came through really strongly was the need for a spirit name. Now, Infinity is my spirit name. Vanessa is my given name. And I love that name. I wasn't ever looking to change my name. And when it came through that I needed to go by this new name, Infinity, and the purpose of it was to remind people, is like an encodement, but with the I at the end, there's 4 ones. It's the 1111 encodement in Infinity. And it also, it evokes a remembrance on some level of a person's soul and their infinite nature in creation. And so it's very purposeful, and I connect to it on so many different levels. Vanessa is similar to that in a different way. It means butterfly or gift from God, and I've always loved that name. I was like, oh, butterfly. So that's why my first website is called The Healing Butterfly, And so anyway, I was shown how to help people also go through the process of, and everybody's is going to be different, but it's a little bit of a framework there to help you connect with your spirit name. So that's kind of who I am, how this program came to be, what's the different maps, or actually I didn't tell you the maps. So the different maps to our bodies is the spiritual body, the mental body, the emotional body, the physical body, the energetic body, and the abundant body. So we have 6 bodies, and that in the Soul Quest program, each week we focus in on with a series of questions and assessments for yourself, that you ask yourself as you go through, to focus in on those bodies and to recognize that you have these different facets of you. You is comprised of these different aspects or layers, which are your bodies. It's all part of you. They're independent, but inextricably connected at the same time. So I'm going to check in here with the chat real quick. Take a little breather, see if there's, whoopsie. Okay, is this going to work for me? It's going to do that thing. It's going to do that thing. Maybe not. Oh, she's talking about my kitty. Georgia says, I pretty much slept all day. So relaxing. Good for you. Vanessa, he's the boss man. You need to listen to him. Haha, meow, meow. Yeah, he can be very, he finally stopped, but yeah. Anyway, so following each map every single week. And oh, here's another thing I wanted to get into. Next thing on the list here is doing the program live or self-paced or a combo. So for those of you who are doing this maiden launch of the Soul Quest program, you're gonna be tonight at midnight. The first map is the introduction and the instructions, and the first map is going to come out, and you're going to have essentially until next Monday when we have the live to review everything to complete it. Now, there's nothing to turn in. There's no due dates. This is also essentially self-paced. There's no tests. Again, there's nothing that you have to review with anybody at any time. This is for you. This is for you, from you, about you. And while there's a fine line between thinking about these questions and going with what comes and not overthinking, obviously it's good to think about these questions. And some are going to come more quickly. Some are going to be harder. You might find yourself having a hard time answering some questions for whatever reason. There's a lot there that's going to come out but we're done in 9 weeks. After we go through everybody, your true identity and your spirit name, there's going to be so much that comes up. But week to week, if you're doing this live, my suggestion is have the goal of finishing through the questions as quickly as you can, as comfortably as you can, and on schedule as you can. So if that's your finishing up on Monday right before the live, so be it. If you've gotten to most of them by that time and you still have a couple left, okay, fine. You can continue on to the next map and get back to those questions at a later time. You can say, I'm going to finish those. I'm going to give myself another day and I'm going to get into those. You're really in command here. There is a lot of flexibility in this program. You're empowered to do this so it's comfortable, but also be responsible enough to not let yourself get away with things. Because it might be uncomfortable. It's bringing up things that you don't want. Going into this program, the purpose is to bring up things. The purpose is to see yourself through as many lenses and all the facets as possible. So by the end of the program, your awareness of where you've been, where you're at, what needs focus on, what needs celebration, what needs healing, what needs transmutation, what's been lingering, etc., etc. And going into it with the intention of being as truthful as you can with yourself and exposing no BS kind of stuff, no denials, no making excuses, just real raw truth. Your truth to yourself is your greatest ally in this program. And if you're having a hard time with that at any time, just recognize that. There's further instructions about this in the map, but or in the program docs. But be committed to holding yourself accountable, and don't consider this program done until you've answered all the questions as truthfully as you know how to at this time, because then you're going to have an accurate map at the end of this journey. You don't want to build a false map, because that's not going to help you get anywhere. And this program is designed so at the end of all the things, you come out with so much awareness of what you need to do from that point forward. If you're a client of mine, how we're going to do your programs. If you're on your own, how you're going to plan and be strategic about yourself when it comes to your healing, your health, your spirituality, in whatever ways that you're guided with yourself. And these maps are going to be so specific about things that you're going to have a real rainbow of ways to do you. And in a really inspiring, fun way where because of all of that, now it's like the next thing that does is connect you with your soul, because we're getting down to things, right? We're really carving into this raw piece of marble, and it's taking shape. And the ultimate you is in there that needs to be shaped. And so is your soul, connecting with your soul and working from that connection and perspective will, piece by piece, how it's meant to go, is going to help you live your life in such alignment, in such light and lightness and happiness, being pain-free on all the levels, having an abundance of energy and creativity and motivation and wealth and magnetizing anything and everything the way that you need it to be, learning how to be your most magical self. And we're all so very magical, and we have the potential. That's the thing. It's so wonderful to me with all of us. No matter what happened, we have great potential to heal ourselves, to change our minds, to delete programming, to learn new things, to experience ourselves in ways that we never thought possible, to have abilities that at one time would have felt very science fiction-y, but are truly real once we work on ourselves more and more and more. The abilities that we have, the power that we have, is really amazing and strong and incredibly effective in changing ourselves and others around us, and how we can connect with nature and the elements and animals and the web of life and other dimensions. And it just goes on and on and on from there. My wish is to help people exceed all previous expectations for themselves in every single way, to evolve to a point to truly understand, because of their experience, dropping fear and replacing it with faith, that nothing is impossible. And the hardest thing about life at that level is making choices for what you want to do with all of your creational power, and newfound abilities or strengthened abilities. Trust me, it's like the hardest thing is just deciding and letting divine guidance take you where you're meant to go in your destinies, like truly letting go and giving into faith in in who you are as this incarnate divine being. That's some scary shit. That's some scary shit at first. Because we are so conditioned to need to know, which is an illusion, to need to control, which is an illusion. So it's a practice in deleting illusion and replacing it with the truth. And the truth is that we have a shit ton of power. And we can do a lot with our energy and intention. And it's right there within us if we choose to partake and work and make it our most important endeavor in this life. But still, having fun. Nothing's worth really anything if it doesn't really feel good in the end. Maybe not all the way through, but we're supposed to have a good time here too. That's why it's so important to connect with ourselves and our bodies on all levels and our soul. Because if we're doing that, we're going to be feeling really good. Really, really good. We're going to be healthy. We're going to sleep well. We're going to digest well. Our bones are not going to hurt. Our muscles aren't going to hurt, chronically at least. We're going to age in reverse. We're going to look way younger than we are. We're going to have a spark within us that reminds us of being really young and being excited for life and not tired of life. And it doesn't matter how old you are. You can be really, really tired of life, no matter how young you are, how old you are. It's a state of mind and body and soul connection and beingness that is the ultimate experience here. In one of our past spirit walks last week, I believe it was Thursdays when we did the spirit walk with our guardian angel. Somebody can fact check me on that. When it was reiterated quite seriously and sincerely that heaven or hell can both be experienced right here upon Gaia in this dimension. And how one of the hardest things is for us to see this reality as mutable and nonlinear and undefined, even by time, because time is also a great illusion, and our own perceived limitations in so many ways. So I want to clarify a little bit more about the pace of this program. So if you're starting off with us today's the first day officially with this live. Tonight you're going to have access to the map, or tomorrow morning when you wake up. On Friday, and the spirit walks as well, for those of you who chose to add on with the spirit walks, which I highly recommend. Invaluable assets and investment for you that will pay itself big time. So you'll get the map and the spirit walk at the same time, and then have, so that's tonight, or at midnight, 12:01. So then you have all day Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Next week's map I'll have an intro on that on my podcast. So there'll be a podcast about that. And there's already one for the spiritual map. It came out on Friday for this last one. If you have not checked it out, I think it's across all podcasts platforms at this time, even Apple. And it's also on my YouTube channel. So there's an intro to my new podcast, Infinity Shaman Circle. Then there is the first podcast as well. You can either watch these podcasts on YouTube or you can listen to them. I'm going to see about getting them. The video is also on Spotify to be watched. So look out for that. That's in the works. And you can either listen to that podcast when it comes out. But if you haven't yet finished the current map, you can hold off on that podcast and wait until you have, or go ahead, go as guided. Again, there's a lot of autonomy here for how you consume and work this program. And then again, we have Monday with the live where we're going to review last week's map. You come here to the live with any questions if you're doing the live program. Or you have the group forum. So anybody who is doing this program, the Soul Quest program, has access to the Soul Quest program group forum where you can post questions, or share whatever about your experience there. It's a peer-to-peer forum where it will be monitored by us as administrators, and I will pop in there as guided to answer questions, but I'm not there to answer every question. That's a peer-to-peer situation there. Let's see, it looks like Dawn has a comment, but this is not opening up. Okay, let me get into it over here. And Faraz, welcome, Faraz. Dawn says Guardian Angel Spirit Walk was Wednesday. Okay, not Thursday, Wednesday. Okay, thank you. Wednesday the 29th of March. So thank you for getting that for me, sweetheart. Okay. So where was I? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh yes, the order of things. So then yes, Monday, come to the live if you have questions. You are having a hard time understanding a question that's in the map, or you need help kind of sorting through it. That's what these lives are going to be for, starting next week when we go over the spiritual body map. That's the one that comes out today. Your first map is the spiritual body map. And then for those that may be starting this while we're still in our first 9 weeks, if you're a week in or 2 weeks in, by the time when you first start this program, you can go back. Then it's going to be self-paced. You could go through it faster, or you could take your time week by week and just continue to go. You could still join in the lives if you want to. It's truly up to you how you want to do this. And from this point forward, you are going to be able to join the Soul Quest program on the non-scheduled self-based journey versus the scheduled, because we've already just started that. So, but it's all the same content. The Spirit Walks, like I said, is a separate add-on that you can also get, and those are going to be available at the same time. My suggestion is with the Spirit Walks and the maps is that you review the map, but don't attempt to answer anything. And then do the Spirit Walk, and then go back to the Spirit Walk for each body. So each body is going to have its own Spirit Walk. So it's a channeled, guided, astral Spirit Walk meditation, where we get into helping you connect and invoking this connection with that particular body for that week. To really help you with the questions and the assessments. And like I said before, you can redo the Spirit Walks at any time in your life. And for that matter, you can redo this Soul Quest anytime in your life. You're also going to have access to the forum. It's lifetime access to the forum. So, and as time goes on, it's just going to be more in there to read, and more people having been part of the program too. At different times, other than this initial launch, I will be holding reviews again, or programs again, where we're going to do lives. I don't have any particular schedule for doing that. Maybe I'll be doing that twice a year. I'm really not quite sure exactly. We got to get through this first one to see how that's going to go. But I know that will happen. But in any event, if you do the replays, if you do this after the 9 weeks, you are going to have the podcast. You're going to have the group forum that, like I said, is live all the time. And if you're ever stuck, we're here for you. So there you go with that. Another thing to get into just real quickly is there's this whole section. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but there are instructions for preparing yourself to do each map in all sorts of ways. So you go into this and getting the most out of it, from scheduling to your environment and all sorts of stuff on the way you're guided to go about doing these maps every single week. So there's that. Again, the resources are either the lives or the replays, the podcast, and we have at least the 9 podcasts coming out for each week. And maybe more in there, depending on how I'm guided. And in between all of that, I still have the schedule of being live every full moon and new moon. I'm going to be live in just a couple days on Wednesday for the full moon, and then in a couple weeks for the new moon, which both of these have other things going on with them, especially the new moon. And I also have I'm going to be doing a live for Mercury retrograde. And then I don't know if you all saw it, but I put on the calendar another one for the actual day of Mercury retrograde for pendulum readings. So, and that's just an example. So at any month, I'm doing quite a lot. You can show up to any of those lives, and also ask questions if you really need to have the answers and you didn't make it to the live, or you're doing it in the replay or whatever. You're always going to be welcome to join me live whenever I'm live. To say, hey, I'm a Soul Quest member and I have a question. I'll be more than welcome to bring you on stage for you to ask your question. Chances are, if you have that question, other people have that question, whether they're in the program or not, it's going to be helpful to people in one way or another. Lastly, this program is now available in pay in full or monthly installments of $100 for 5 months. So I was guided to do that in hopes that, or knowing that for some people, that's going to make the difference between them being able to do this or not. And so if you go to the website, archangelslove.com, you'll see where it says the Soul Quest program, just right there on the home page, just a little below the very top. And also up in the header menu that says programs and plans. And then it'll say info and enroll in the Soul Quest program. And you're going to pick it's just going to be the only one that's available is going to be the self-paced one. And then you can also choose to get the Spirit Walk package as well. So there you go with that. And once you do, you'll see that there's options for payments, and they're going to be recurring automatic payments if you choose to do that. And that is about it with that. I'm pretty sure. I think I covered everything. Anybody have any questions or comments about the program? Generally speaking, or about anything. Oh, Rhonda, there's somebody on YouTube. Hello, Rhonda, if you're still here. Blessings, she says, life path. Okay. So let's hear it if we have any questions about this. If not, then I'll take that as I did a super excellent job and I don't need to review anything. Thanks for all the likes on YouTube, everybody. I appreciate it. No questions. Okay, well then, super excited. Okay, good. That's Dawn saying she's super excited. I'm super excited too. I really am super excited for this. I'm going to be doing this program myself. It was, again, really born out of this need to really know what it is that we want to do moving forward, regardless of where you're at with things. This is the time, with everything that's gone on that brought us to this point, with all the paradigm shifts and all the energies and all the planetary alignments, which please go back if you have not seen my Daily Spirit shows that were live all month, Monday through Friday, not all month, but between, kind of felt like all month, but it was from the 13th to the 31st. They were great energy and topics, energy updates and topics, oracle readings, and then spirit walks that were all so in alignment with everything leading up to this soul quest. I am super excited about this journey for us all. I know it's going to be very enlightening, very healing, very helpful, and it's going to take us to the next level and beyond in a really, really big, real way. From this point to 9 weeks from now, we're going to have discovered a lot and helped each other, hopefully, a lot through the lives and through the forum. And I please, for those of you who are in the program, please engage in the group. You can get to it from your member pages up at the top when you're logged into archangelslove.com. You all, everybody that's in the program right now already know each other from being in past business with me, past programs or workshops or whatever. So you all know each other. So go in there and say hello and let everybody know where you're at right now. For those of you who are doing this in the replay, go check out what's going on, what happened before. You introduce yourself and what's going on with you. I am going to be posting something tonight in there as well, just a little bit of instruction on using the forum, but I'll save that for that. And just really I want, if anything, you person, beautiful soul that's embarking on this journey for yourself, to do this soul quest program. Number one, celebrate you. I'm so grateful and blessed to have been channeled this work for us to do. I'm so grateful and blessed that you've been guided here to do it with us. At any time that you've been guided to do it with us, whether it's in the lives or it's in the replays, you're here for a purpose, for yourself, to be part of this collective. You're a lifetime member. I'm looking forward to growing this community in many ways in the future. And I want everybody from this point forward just to see a path before them that is brilliant and light and magical and illuminating and illuminated and sweet and pure and vital and loving and nurturing. And there's nothing to fear at all. But there's everything to be excited about. So I guess that's it. Go with that, everybody. Please check out the website again, archangelslove.com, for the Soul Quest program and all the options you've got going on there and everything else that's connected to it. I have articles that I've written about this as well, so please read those if you haven't already. Please let me know if you have any questions, if there's any issues with your journey in any way. Or Dawn is my magical assistant, and either of us will be here for you. She is also doing the program. That's why she's so excited. She has not seen any of the maps. She has not seen any of the questions. She helped me around them, but she never saw them. And I wrote them so long ago. I channeled them so long ago. I don't remember them either because they were all written in the middle of February. And this is the beginning of April. So I don't even remember them. So anyway, I'm so excited for everybody. I love you all so much for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so I love your loves and your laughs and stuff. Thank you, everybody. And I guess that's it for now. We'll see you back here on next Monday, the 10th, I believe it is, of April, to go over the spirit body map. And again, Friday for the podcast of the next map, which is the mental map. I'll be back here on Wednesday for the full moon. And I believe it's the solar eclipse. There's a lot going on. I'll see you later, alligators. I love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Be good. Mwah. Bye. Bye, everybody. Oh my gosh, this thing. I swear.